Hello, Klaus here, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to do a new show called Davinci Resolve Hangouts. I did an episode about something like this a while back, but so what I want to do is I want to do a show where you guys can send me your clips and I will color grade those, and I will make a lot out of it and I will give that back to the audience. This is also a way you can showcase your work on the channel and get a shout out or whatever you will call it. Anyways, let's just roll the bumper for this show and let's continue. Hi, let's hang out now. If somebody are wondering how I'm recording this, I'll just show you pretty quickly. I'll just record it on the phone so you can see what I'm doing. So here we have the camera, which is the Blackmagic Pocket 4K camera recording. It has a connection to an HDMI, which is going down the way here, to a Blackmagic Video Assist monitor, which I love using. And then I have the power brick over here as well. And of course, I have the XLR cable mini adapter going into the Rode mic, which is off the side here. And then in general, I just have a mess at my table. Anyway, let's get into the first episode of this video. In this episode, we are going to have a look at how to change this clip and make it look into something like this. So let's get started right away. So here we are back in Davinci Resolve, of course, and here we have two clips. This is a project I did not long ago for a writer, she's publishing a book, and we did a kind of a commercial for that book. So this is one of the shots we did. So I'll just kill the sound on the clip. And so this is just the clip we have here. And you see nothing much is happening. We want to do a film noir kind of clip or take out of this. But we have some issues. It's a little bit of an issue. So the first issue we have, of course, is the lamp I am having here in the back. It doesn't look very good at all. The reason it's there, it's not a mistake. It's because of this little LED light wasn't strong enough to make the hair light, which I wanted here. So I have to remove this in post, and that's why I did a kind of a clean plate, or at least I moved the lamp, and I have the clean plate right here, as you see here, and I'll just drag that down as well. And then we'll just put it there. So first off, we need to fix the clean plate, or the issue with that. But first I need to make this plate longer. So I'll do that by pushing Control, and I'll just drag. And I'll do that 3 times, so I have approximately the same length. And actually I have to check out something, because this shot was made on a monopod and it was not totally still. I think it's still here, and I'll just need to erase these two and go here. And let's have a look here. It should be just fine. Something like that. Let's just go quickly to that. And then again, I'll just push Alt and drag, and I'll do duplications. I'll do duplications of the footage 2 times. I think it's fine. I'll just shorten this clip. So now we have that. And first off, I'm going to highlight my plate here, and then I am going to right click, and I'm just going to do a new compound clip, and I'll just call that plate. And I'll create that, and then I'll just push that aside. We'll use that later. So now I'll move the video portion. I'll move that 1 track up on video track 2, and I'll put the plate underneath. And just fast, I'll go into the, and then of course now I didn't mute the track because I moved it, so I'll just mute that. Okay, so now I'll just want to do this, or I just want to move the light in a very easy way. Actually, it's the easiest way ever. So I'll do that by selecting the clip, going to the inspector, and then going down to the cropping, and then I will just crop my image from the left. And then the thing is to find a place where it isn't obvious. I think that is a pretty good spot. And then I'll do the same for the right. Even though I had slightly a little mistake here when I did the shot, because I moved the light from here and I didn't move it far enough. I was pretty busy with this shot, so I didn't see that. But that's not a problem, because then we just highlight both of our clips. And then again in the inspector, we'll just digitally zoom that just a little bit, something like that. And now it's all gone. So with that being out of the way, with the plate on the bottom clip and then the actual clip on the top, we are going to go into the color grading of this. So let's go to the color page. And on the color page, we'll just simply do a very basic grade, because I want to do like a contrasty black and white kind of thing. So let's start out by doing that. So as you see now so let's start out by doing that. Actually, let's take our node here, and I'll just quickly go in and I'll add another node. I'll add I will add a parallel node I'll want to use for this example here. So what is a parallel node? It's basically what I want to do is I want to make the picture black and white, but I want to make the book here stand out a little. So I would do that with a mask. So basically what I want to do is, first off, I want to take the top one and I want to make that black and white. So I'll do that just by dragging out all the saturation. And then I want to contrast it a bit, so the dark will be very dark. And then I'm also going to go here to the color wheels, and I want to push down the blacks here by the lift. Then I'm going to the gamma, I'm pushing up the gamma just a bit, and then I'll go to the gain and I will lift it just a tad in the highlights. Okay. And then I'll go down here to our number 2, this one, and then I want to change the color temperature. So I will push that towards, I think, like 800 or something. And then the tint, I want to do something about that as well. So I'm just trying to make the image look like I want it to, so and having fun doing it. So, and the midtones, so what you often see in these film noir kind of shots is that the skin will be softened a bit. And we can do that by going in here. By going here to the midtones, and either we could, if we decrease, you see it's softening. If we do it the other way, so we want to do something which looks good. So I think I would like to minus 13, 14, something like that. Okay, and then we want to apply the exact same grade onto this one. And of course we could just copy the grade by pushing the middle mouse button, but there's also another way we could do by highlighting and then pushing Control C for copy, then going to the other node, selecting the node here and going in Control V, and we have now copied that look. So that is like a basic black and white look here, but I want to do something a little bit more. I want to do this, I want to give the book a little more focus. I want to give that a specific color. So I'll go to our parallel node, which we have here, and I'll select the parallel node, and then I will go to our window here, and I'll create a window, and I'll just draw a shape. I'll just zoom in quite a bit, and I'll do a quick shape here. Okay. So So now I have done a mask, and I didn't need to give this some color. And then I'll go back here to the saturation, and I'll boost up the saturation. I will go into the, here we have the gain. I'll push the gain towards the red color. And I'll lift that a bit. I might do the same with garment, a little darker, and then I want to lift the color a bit as well. Something like that. And then I'll go to the tracker. And here in the tracker, I'm just going to track. First, I'll track backwards. I'll track the mask I did here. And it's a pretty good tracker in Davinci Resolve, by the way. So it's tracked that way. So I'll just go to the first keyframe here, and I'll track again. And it shouldn't give me too much problem, because I know that she is sitting pretty still with the book in her hand reading. So that should be just fine and dandy. So let's have it track the other way here. So again, Davinci Resolve is awesome for its tracker capabilities, but then again, it can do a lot of other things. It is a super great program, and I have a lot of people asking me, by the way, that what kind of editing software should I use? And I always say Davinci Resolve, because when you have tried to work inside of Davinci Resolve and you don't have to round trip and get out of Davinci Resolve, this is an amazing software to work with. Anyway, let's go back to Davinci Resolve here, and let's go to the mask, and we'll create another mask by simply clicking here the curves. And now I want to draw in the other portion here of the book. Let's see, something like this. Again, it's a super fast way of doing this, so I just zooms in. She has her hands, her fingers here, so I just want to create some kind of a mask around that. And again, you can use a lot of time doing this to make it look super duper perfect, but I don't want these videos to be like hours, so we'll do it the old-fashioned fast way here. Okay, and yes, something like that. Good. And then we go back to the tracker, and we will just track that as well. And it should be, again, pretty easy to track. So I am thinking about getting a faster computer to do these videos with, because this is by now a pretty old laptop. So things like tracking can take some time. I do have like a big computer, which are not right here. That's way faster, but I usually do all my tutorial videos at home, so, and not at my office, so that's why. So anyway, we are almost here at the end of our track. So let's have a look here. Great, and that should be just fine. So let's go back to the editing tab. So here we have the image, but even though this looks pretty good, I think, it's not too bad. It's a nice shot. We want to do something more. We want to create movements. So the way I would do that, because of the plate, I would absolutely highlight the two clips, and then I would right click again, and I would do a new compound clip. I'll just call this final, and I'll say create. So now we have both the plate and everything combined into. So one thing I also do like to make, or one thing I think would make this look a little more filmic as well, is widescreen bars, because like if you look at these old noir films, they have like widescreen bars. So let's add that pretty fast by going to the timeline and go to the output blanking. I do like this 2.40, and that looks already now a lot better. So let's do the final thing. So what I usually would do is I would animate the keyframes, but of course in Davinci Resolve, if you don't want to, you can use the dynamic zoom, and you can just push that, and I'll swipe that. And here we have it with the dynamic zoom, as you see. And even though that is just fine, I very often don't use the dynamic zoom. I actually end up by zooming everything manually, because then I can actually do exactly what I want. So let's say I go into the inspector again, to the transform, and I'll hit the keyframe icon up in the top corner here. And then I will this will be my first keyframe here, and I'll go to the end of my clip. And when I'm at the end, I want it to be zoomed in like this. I want the camera to go a little bit down like that, something like that. It's very subtle and it isn't a lot. So here we go. I think this looks pretty good, in my opinion, and a pretty fast way of making these effects. Anyway, this was the first episode of Davinci Resolve Hangouts. If you want to feature your own material and want me to do something specific, or you want me to play around with your footage, please contact me or write me a message and we'll figure out how we'll do that. I also thought it would be fun that you might want to do like a 5-10 seconds video where you introduce yourself. Thought it could be fun. Maybe we'll do that. We'll figure out. This is just the first test out episode. So the basic idea of this is that I will be showing these videos as a premiere on YouTube, which means that while they are live, I will be down in the chat section and you can hang out and chat with me and ask me questions or whatever, and I'll try to give you a pretty good answer if I can. Hopefully you found this very useful, and let's hang out again another time. See you next time.